For the last 3 months, Stockholm, Sweden's National Museum of Horticulture displayed more than 300 terracotta objects, including terracotta warriors from the ancient Chinese Qing Dynasty and Han Dynasty. The exhibit, which included some artifacts which had never left China, was a huge success. So much so, the museum says more than 350,000 people visited, thus double the expected turnout.
It is an enormous success, and it is the exhibition which has drawn the most audiences for many, many years in Sweden. And we feel particularly happy because we feel that it is a very, very good display of the story of the first emperor and the early Han Dynasty.
The terracotta exhibit is the most visited history of the museum, which opened in 1940. The turnout has been so good. The 3-month showing was extended an extra week.
We had to prolong because there was such a pressure from the audiences, so there was no way we could close the exhibition already after 3 months. We felt that there was such a huge interest that we had to prolong it. So we're very grateful that it was possible to prolong the exhibition.
Traditional Chinese music is touring Canada, thanks to an overseas visit from China's Nanjing University Traditional Instruments Orchestra, which has been performed in the country for 2 weeks.
The auditorium is filling up here at Heritage Woods Secondary School to see the Nanjing University Traditional Instruments Orchestra. This orchestra has traveled all the way across Canada over the past 13 days promoting traditional Chinese culture. Over the past 15 years, they've traveled all around the world to spread their message of peace, joy, and music.
Almost every year, the members of the Nanjing University Student Traditional Instruments Orchestra close their books for 2 weeks, pack their bags, and take their show on the road, playing traditional Chinese folk music to audiences around the world to promote Chinese traditional culture and cross-cultural understanding. The orchestra was founded in 1996 with the goal of promoting national Chinese culture, popularizing the classical arts, and giving students a well-rounded education in the process. The orchestra's members are not music students. Rather, they're students of literature, history, law, economics, or other fields, and they take part simply for the love of the music and the joy of bringing that music to other cultures. This year, that road wound its way through Canada, starting in Hamilton, Ontario, and making its final stop 4,000 kilometers away here in Port Moody, British Columbia.
Now we say we're now in a global village. So cross-cultural communication is becoming more and more a phenomenon in the world, and people want to understand each other, their language and their culture. And so Chinese language and culture in the past used to be kind of, or at least it seems to be kind of mythical to Westerners, but actually it's not. It's very beautiful. And so we would like to share our own experience, our cultural experience, especially through this time through this festival. We could go festival cultures to let people in other cultural background to see what Chinese culture really is.
This year's Canadian tour, with a special Spring Festival theme featuring children's dance troupe, hit 6 cities across Canada, playing for Confucius institutions and classrooms, public institutions usually based out of high schools or universities that aim to promote Chinese language and culture. Port Moody's Confucius Classroom was the first of its kind in British Columbia.
Audience were actually students or parents who have kids in our Confucius classrooms. So it gives them a sense of what the language looks like or the culture is in a musical expression rather than just in a classroom. So for us it was a wonderful opportunity to look at another component of Chinese culture in our own setting here, and it was just an amazing evening.
Since the orchestra was founded 15 years ago, it has given over 400 performances of nearly 100 pieces of traditional Chinese music, using traditional string and wind instruments such as the erhu and pipa. It has been played throughout Europe, Asia, and North America, and has been invited to play at some of the world's most prestigious universities, including Harvard, MIT, and Stanford.
I know how difficult it is for students to do so much extracurriculars as well as maintain, their grades in university with all their heavy workloads and studies. So, and especially the kind of professionalism that was demonstrated by these students here today really impressed me as a university student myself. So I must say that this was definitely a great pleasure to be here and to be able to witness this fabulous performance. So definitely very professional.
And had you seen this type of music before? Was it something new?
Yeah, well actually it is something new, even though I was from China myself, so I've never had a lot of opportunities to see this sort of thing. So it was definitely very nice of them to come here and to sort of do that cultural exchange. So, yeah.
Unfortunately for audience members, there was one rule at tonight's performance here in Port Moody: no encores. Education called, and the students had to wake up extra early to board an airplane back to Nanjing, where it's back to the books.